Continuing part 3, the story of the scroll, the path of evolution. The meal ends in confusion. Vashti suffers from Sariath. Vashti is the queen of the exile. Her physical appearance is not herself. If one should really want to know, if one is bent upon penetrating to the very core, one cannot help being faced with this Sariath. Then one will discover there is something entirely different at the back of it, that this physical appearance is in fact a kind of disease, a humiliating descent. The discovery would cause the whole cosmic image which Ahasuerus is building up to crash down. People would deride his queen, and supposing people were to allow themselves to be carried away by the allurement of the physical, they were likely to claim this Vashti for themselves and destroy Ahasuerus. For indeed, in the world of natural law, it is club law that prevails, the law of the strong, the masses, the hard-hearted, clever ones. Why run into extremes, Vashti asks. Do not upset the fundamentals of physical appearance, the fundamentals of the fact that the exterior is the perceptible. That way or that, it would spell catastrophe, world destruction. Vashti has Ahasuerus reminded of who she actually is. She has not without reason entered into this world. She is the granddaughter of Nebuchadnezzar, the destroyer of the temple. She comes from a different world, a world which put an end to the temple, hence made a beginning with the exile. Vashti is a royal princess. She belongs to a royal family. There one did not get inebriated with the wine. Her father was a match for all others in Wassel. He always remained regal, and Ahasuerus had merely had the status of lord of the stables with her father. At this crucial point, otherworldly causes suddenly present themselves. Vashti no longer is merely Vashti, even though she may seem to be so this world. Vashti proves to have her causes somewhere else. The phenomenal form in this world of development of the immutable natural laws has a previous history. That these laws are what they are is intimately connected with the destruction of the temple. That is why they act that way. It is inconspicuous when one studies them here, isolated with merely this world as starting point. But can this world act differently, reasoning as it does according to the laws of Ahasuerus, according to the laws of half the kingdom of half the truth? When the time has come for the very core to make its appearance and people would only find a Sariath core, there comes the word from Vashti herself, passed on by the seven of the inner circle. Something transpires from that discussion in the palace at Shushan. Development and natural law have not their cause within themselves, but beyond this world in a different world. They arose because the temple was destroyed in a different world, in an anterior world. That world of Babel, in its turn, was destroyed also, and a new world arose, that of Porosumodai. Do not let that world suppose it is the beginning and the end of everything. In that previous world, Ahasuerus was not of great significance. The phenomenal form in this world of Medes and Persians has a profound and distant cause. Besides, Vashti is Sariath in a very special way. Her appearance also shows the unappetizing, the hideous Sariath. At least her revealed appearance does. For in this world of exile, Vashti is in a tremendous conflict with the Ivri women, the Jehudim women. She compels them to labor on the seventh day in their naked bodies. The world of the phenomenal appearances, the world of the expression and development of natural laws, superimposes this condition, the veiled appearance of the Ivri, and the recognition that the seventh day is for hallowing everything, for restoring everything to the source of origin. She cannot align with her nature of temple destroyer, which can only create exile, can only give food to development. This conflict with the Ivri, with the Neshama, causes disquiet in the body, causes disharmony, causes loss of equilibrium, and that is what is called Sariath. In every individual person, in every appearance in this world, this conflict leads to the collective concept of disease, Sariath. It is this Sariath which sweeps up Vashti's fear of showing herself beyond endurance, and that is how she rouses the fury of Ahasuerus, who only now realizes the immense deficiency in his concept of the world. The Mishnah ends in a general confusion. Something is wrong with the phenomenal in this world. There is a discrepancy with the real. A perception leads to a vacuum. What about ruling this world? How is a king to rule the world when his queen, phenomenal appearance, cannot suffer herself to be comprehended to the very depth of her being. How can the masculine law assert itself and operate when the feminine, the appearance, the expression and the reality of this world, is disobedient? What will happen to the world if the feminine, that which is perceptible, is not in agreement with strict law? What is the matter with the phenomenal? Is something particular the matter with it? Vashti must fall. At this crucial point, the king asks the counsel of those that have knowledge of the times, for here is a conflict which has its origin in a different time. Ancient tradition refers to the tribe of Jessachar, the ninth son of Jacob. Jessachar was born after Rachel has received the dudaim from Leah. Jessachar, in a sense, has come in exchange for the dudaim. The dudaim are the promise of the new man that will know redemption. Rachel chose the dudaim, and with them she later on gets the beloved Joseph and Benjamin. That is why Jessachar is able to fathom the meaning of the times. Jessachar, however, does not respond. Now that the temple is destroyed, now that the world to which Jessachar belonged merely exists in exile, he desists from giving counsel. In the exile, the thumb is disabled. The one is crippled. With the four fingers alone, one cannot render the music of the world of the temple. As a matter of fact, Jessachar does not want to get mixed up with the affairs of the exile. It is not his world. He anticipates enormous struggles and suffering. Then the king asks the counsel of those that knows the laws, the fixed laws of Porus Umadai. He returns to his own world now that Jessachar gives no response. Now there's a different group of 7, a second group. He wants to know, what about Vashti? It is at that moment that Memucan steps forward. Ancient lore says that Memucan is Haman the strict one, blindly, ambitiously pursuing the course of Amalek, striving after complete dominion of the forces of evolution. In the course of evolution, Haman sees himself finally becoming the king, and he sees that Vashti must disappear. Evolution cannot tolerate such conflicts. They are a check on evolution. What does the origin of material phenomenal matter? Haman has a daughter. As a queen, this Amalekite will not cause any conflicts. Like Haman, she is sheer force of development. When Vashti has disappeared from the consciousness of the king of the world, Haman's daughter can become Ahasuerus' consort. So Haman advises to kill Vashti. The feminine, the phenomenal parents, has got to obey, has to give expression to the laws of development without more ado, give expressions to these inexorable, irreversible natural laws. The body has to obey the laws of growth. No mention of exceptions. They must be silent. The king says the world is like this and nothing else. It is the law of the world. This is the law of Medes and Persians. Let the king find another consort, another way of expression, a woman that has not got the complicated whims of that regal Vashti. Memucan Haman does not realize that with this counsel to suppress another reality, he does not only eliminate his prognostic in temple destruction and temple obstruction, but simultaneously sows the seeds of his own downfall. For indeed, now Mordecai and Esther will come into prominence, not of their own will. They will try to conceal themselves, but they are led there now. It is not Haman's daughter that is to be the queen. Who is that conducts everything that way? Accident? Coincidence? The pieces are moved. God is hidden. It moves. Vashti in every individual person. Whenever man thinks he can boast of his Vashti, she disappoints him. She proves not to be so simple. There is more behind it. There is something prenatal present in Vashti, even in Vashti. And if the individual is terribly perturbed by this refusal of his Vashti, when he gets into discord and enraged at such complicated conditions, then his Memucan comes into prominence. His Jessachar refuses to say anything in the world of exile. but Memucan supplies the solution. He now sees the way open to free development in the world. He silences Vashti and points out to the individual that there are other means of approach of the phenomena. Let man just start looking for other means. Haman, Memucan, takes it that it will turn out to be his own daughter, that the phenomenal appearance will find the exclusive explanation in the Amalek viewpoint. Unhampered, enthusiastic, hybrid evolution. It is quite obvious. Haman is not aware that something entirely different is going to take place in man, for indeed he merely knows that one side and everything is quite logical there. He is utterly unaware of God hiding in everything. He is utterly unaware of Esther. And while Haman is zealously acting and sees his way free, something else is moved forward. Man is more complicated than the world of exile is aware of. Man has a neshama hiding somewhere. He is not only one thing, he is the other also. Haman has made it into a law of Medes and Persians. Anything feminine, all that makes its appearance, must express what natural laws dictate. The men of Porus Umodai, of all the 127 countries, decide in what manner something shall make its appearance. Ancient lore smiles at this silly law of Medes and Persians, for it is already like that in the world of Ahasuerus. Just because it is half the truth, all of this is happening already. What mattered was the totality. What is the other half going to do? The half that is called Esther, the half that is hidden.